When you hear the word Nintendo, you tend to think family fun, but that's not always the case. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 mature Nintendo games.
Now, I think we should go out there and pay those babes a visit.
For this list, we're exclusively looking at games released on a Nintendo console that received a mature ESRB rating. Number 10, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter. A commercial and critical success, Turok showed the world just how much could be accomplished on an N64 console, and it did so in style. Nintendo had a reputation for shying away from potential titles that could conflict with their generally family-friendly reputation. But with the release of Turok, they showed the world that they wouldn't faint at the sight of blood, so long as it was backed up by a solid story and a worthy gameplay experience. At the time of its release, Turok established itself as one of the standards by which other console shooters could be judged, especially in terms of graphics. Often compared to Doom and Duke Nukem, Turok brought all the bloodshed, but with greater freedom to explore. Number 9, No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle.
This is the ultimate vengeance!
No More Heroes, released in 2008, introduced us to one of the most memorable characters in modern gaming, Travis Touchdown, in a title that was as unique in its gameplay and storytelling as it was stylish.
It's too terrible. It alone would jack up the age rating of this game even further.
The sequel managed to live up to its predecessor and even further refined the many elements that made the original such a great game.
There are people starting from the sequel who don't care about continuity, you know.
It's a truly unique title in that it is self-aware of its position as one of the few mature titles on the Wii, a position of privilege it shows at every turn, with sexually suggestive material, adult humor, and buckets of blood.
Stop! Stop!
Why? You beat him. He had nothing left.
I know that, but he was a true warrior.
This game always keeps you guessing, never letting up on the fun or quirky charm.
Feels good. Quick and dirty's my style.
Number 8, MadWorld.
What's that guy's name? How should I know? You call him buddy.
Oh, the carnage. In case you're not familiar with this title, imagine a Sin City video game, but with more blood splatter. Yes, you heard us correctly, bloodier than Sin City.
He hates that roast.
The more elaborate, creative, or explosive you manage to make your kills in the various open-ended levels, the more points you score. Every design choice, including the hyper-stylized graphics right down to the sickeningly satisfying sound effects, all seem to be made to emphasize the gore. As for the game's plot, it's equal parts American Gladiators and Battle Royale, but with more specific events called bloodbath challenges, like man darts or trapping enemies in front of trains. It's sick, remarkably replayable, and a lot of fun. Number 7, Shin Megami Tensei 4. When you hear an RPG on a Nintendo system that involves collecting monsters, your mind tends to jump straight to Pokemon, which is nothing if not family friendly. But Shin Megami Tensei 4, released on the 3DS, is most definitely not an appropriate choice to keep your kids busy while waiting for the next Pokemon title to be released.
It has this thick texture that lingers on the tongue.
Some of the demons and monsters you collect are cute and cuddly, whereas others are downright terrifying.
Now leave, young ones, and I shall not take your lives.
It brings excellent gameplay and an original creature fusion system, but the copious amounts of blood, partial nudity, and sexually explicit content keep it in the M-rated category.
Come now. Forget about the cage and let us make love together.
Number 6, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. This game franchise requires little to no introduction. Probably the most notoriously violent game series in history, GTA has its fair share of detractors. Thankfully for Rockstar, the number of avid fans outnumber the haters 100-1. No one ever really expected to see a GTA game on a Nintendo console, let alone a game initially released exclusively on the Nintendo DS. Although later made available for the PSP, the dual screen of the DS made it for a unique Grand Theft Auto gameplay experience. Along with the usual GTA violence and a throwback to the top-down graphics of yesteryear, was an extensive drug-dealing side quest that allowed players to buy and sell drugs for the best profit available. Adult only indeed. When Rockstar does Nintendo, they don't hold back. Number 5, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Something really special needs to be brought to the table in order for Nintendo to release a hyper-violent mature action game. When it comes to horror-based mature titles, however, their quality control seems less strict, resulting in a few lackluster horror entries from the company over the years. Thankfully, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem is not one of those titles.
May the rats eat your eyes!
This award-winning game puts players in the shoes of 12 distinct characters, spread throughout various time periods. Thanks to the patented Sanity effects, the gameplay is as unnerving as it is unique and brilliant. There's nothing quite like a game that manages to both terrify you and wow you simultaneously. We recommend playing with the lights on. Number 4, Perfect Dark. It was hard not to think of this game as GoldenEye Part 2, but that's not really a bad thing. GoldenEye was an excellent FPS that surprisingly got away with a T for teen rating. Then Perfect Dark came in as a spiritual successor and upped the ante in every regard, including its ESRB rating. The Area 51 infiltration mission taught us the true meaning of the word infuriating, but like every level in the game, successful completion of it gave us a pretty significant sense of accomplishment. Compared to many of the other games on this list, Perfect Dark is actually relatively tame. It still brings the bloodshed though, and happily embraced the M rating and letting loose some really foul language.
Good, because we believe anything which does not work correctly should be destroyed.
Number 3, Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta's development is an interesting tale, as the first game was originally released for the PS3 and Xbox 360 to widespread acclaim. But when publisher Sega ran into financial difficulties, a sequel seemed unlikely.
Heaven and hell can tear each other to pieces for all I care. I've got my own problems to worry about.
Then, as a surprise to everyone, Nintendo announced that they'd picked up Bayonetta 2 as a Wii U exclusive, and the result was one of the finest hack-and-slash games ever made. We're not sure if bloodshed has ever been more beautiful than in Bayonetta 2. The game's striking artwork and sense of style is balanced almost impossibly well with the coordinated movement and truly overwhelming action sequences. Plus, with Bayonetta's trademark over-the-top sexual references, the game definitely earned its rating. Number 2, Conkers Bad Fur Day.
I'm here. Hurry up. Pick me up, shithead.
This game was originally set to be released as 12 Tales, Conker 64, and was to feature a happy-go-lucky squirrel in a kid-friendly adventure. However, facing criticism of being yet another kiddie platformer, especially after the release of Banjo-Kazooie, Rare decided to completely rework the cuddly squirrel Conker into a foul-mouthed, hungover deadbeat.
Go on, off with ya. That's it. Right, bedtime.
As a result, this guy could now jump on the breasts of a sexy sunflower and violently gun down his enemies. He was lewd, crude, and he had parodying famous films down to an art. And the multiplayer never gets old.
Rule number 1, my way, or he's a dead mother way. Take your pick.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
We're already at the site. Where the hell are you guys?
Yeah, we're on our way, boss. Be there in a minute.
Number 1, Resident Evil 4. It's surprising to think that one of the best third-person shooters ever made was originally released as an exclusive title for the GameCube at a time when the system was struggling to get new games. It was intense, captivating, and terrifying all at once, and was even released with an awesome-looking, if very impractical, chainsaw controller.
It is technically supposed to be a functioning GameCube controller.
Eventually, the game would be ported to other consoles, including Nintendo's follow-up, the Wii, and that version did show how motion controls were a viable alternative to using a stick to aim. This, of course, made it all the more satisfying to blow enemies' heads off, and you were doing it on a Nintendo console. Do you agree with our list?
It's gonna be one of those days.
What's your favorite mature Nintendo game?
Their blood is all mine.
For more top 10s with questionable content published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I shall not